Well, thank you, Reverend Phyllis. And we look forward to seeing you and some of the other Unity leaders with us throughout 2022. It's certainly been one of the blessings of some of the strange times that we've encountered over the last 2 years. We're talking about an Advent journey, which is 4 weeks, but I think we've been on a journey for a couple of years. And what has that journey done for us? It's brought out certain traits in us, things that we've developed that we never thought we'd do, and others that we've actually just outgrown. I don't know about you, but I had quite a few things, certain bits of music, and I used to be very avid in reading the Age or the Australian on the weekend, but really I can't be bothered. And when I look back over the years to think some of the talkback shows and some of the other events on television, they seem to thrive on drama. Well, we're here to change that now. And isn't it amazing with the Zoom that we've got? I don't think anyone predicted this. I've tried to find out whether Nostradamus or Mother Shrimpton or any of those people did predict something similar. They may have, but it hasn't been in the mainstream that we'd be in this situation we're in now, with its blessings and challenges. But isn't it interesting to know that Spirit is always ahead of us? Spirit knows what we want before we even ask for it. And the example I'm going to use is the one right here. 2 years ago, we weren't interested in Zoom or live stream, but Spirit has provided this for us to keep in touch. And we know no matter what the future holds, Spirit is going to provide for us. And it's up to us to make this known, and in our teachings and in what we do in our life, not just to be here at Unity or a New Thought Centre and teach this stuff. We have to now demonstrate it. Easier said than done, but I think we're all a lot stronger than we were 2 years ago. I think back to then and think, well, what a lot of running around I did. And I'm sure some of you have here too. It's one of those situations where we've all taken stock. So as Advent began a couple of weeks ago, it was a symbolic journey. Those 3 wise men we always talk about every year. We've seen them on Christmas cards, in cartoon versions, in real life versions, real photographs, but those 3 wise men saw a star. Not many other people did. King Herod didn't. And that star was a star in the east. And that star in the east is in us. When we were born, the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies, that immaculate conception created in us the Christ seed, the mystical marriage. How blessed we are for some of those way showers that went before us, that kept on and on repeating this. And now, no matter what religion we're in, whether it's Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, or Muslim, it doesn't matter anymore, because we just have to be a good person. That golden rule is the only thing we really need to start with as we progress towards our inner Christ center. We've been lighting candles here. Symbology. And as Charles Fillmore says, don't take the symbol as being what the actual substance is, but it's a great reminder. All of us who've had training and I've been to Sunday school, we love symbology. I love the Catholic Church symbology. I love the Buddhist symbology and all that, the candles, the whole kit and caboodle. I've mentioned before, I've been in the city, not so much now, but say 5 years ago. And I had my favorite places to go to. I used to go to a theosophical bookshop, used to go to Alan's music shop, And then I'd go to St. Francis in the city and sit for 10 minutes. And sometimes it would be good because the organist would be practicing. And there's the stained glass windows. There's the wonderful altar. And it brought out in me some reverence, which I really, really needed. And from that, I went back out into the street with the clanging of Melbourne trams and back to reality. So symbolism is very, very powerful if we know how to use it. We've skimmed over the candles really over the years, but the first candle represents hope/faith. The hope that we'll be led to this Christ consciousness. And through this light, we will be able to reach our full potential as we're meant to be here. From Adam, the man of dust, to Jesus, the man of Christ. As I say a lot, those Bible stories are us. That's our journey. The good ones, the bad, the naughty and the nice, it's all been part of us. And here we are. The second candle represents the symbol of peace. Often in the Unity books, it's called the Bethlehem candle. And each day represents a day closer to that inner awareness. The third candle is the angel's candle, signifying love. And this candle symbolizes the release of God's power in us as we expand and expand. And as Jeanette reverently lit for us today, the fourth candle, the shepherd's candle, very appropriate. Let us be shepherds of our own thoughts. And as the angels fly around, remember that angels are good thoughts. And those good thoughts can take the shape of us, our animals, anything that brings peace and joy into our life. They are the angels of our being. I mentioned when I started the three wise men. I usually make a big deal of their presence, which were gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And those wise men, famous names Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar. Now, those three gifts are for us as well. Gold represents the riches of spirit. They brought to the Christ child a consciousness of the omnipresence of substance. Substance, the divine idea, underlying reality of all things, the underbelly of all things. We don't have to be too sacred about when we talk about substance. It's spiritual, but you get a lot of the metaphysical writers. We are substance, and probably one of the most irreverent way of looking at it was Wallace T. Wattles, who wrote The Science and Art of Getting Rich. He talks about this substance, and you can use it and you can shape it if you know how. But as in that Secret, the DVD out a few years ago, of course we can do what we like with this power. But there's a catch. My nephew from Cape Town was here a few years ago, and I was explaining to him down at my favorite restaurant, Geppetto's, about what New Thought is. And he said, oh, it's just positive thinking. Well, I said, yes and no, because you can think positively about something that isn't good for your soul down the track. And how often do we spend time forgiving ourselves for the junk we did, innocently or otherwise, to people around us? We learn how to shape substance in line with universal substance. And Thomas Troward said, there's a difference between us in this physical world and the substance, because our individual mind isn't the creator of it, but the distributor of it. What a responsibility. How we use this power is up to us, but we are responsible for the consequences of it. Frankincense was the other gift. This represents a transmutation of the material consciousness into the spiritual. There's a saying, you can't get to heaven by betraying the earth. While we've got a physical body, we have to look after that too. It's our body temple. And the better we keep it, the better it is. And I'm finding that out as I'm approaching my 75th birthday. It's not a thing that I'm taking for granted anymore. I have to exercise and keep fit mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm getting a few nods over here from the Rogues Gallery. We all agree we need to look after ourselves. Yes, we get a glimpse of the inner star tuition, but as Ernest Holmes says, we have a body, but there's more to it than this. We view the journey from the long life of the soul. And the third gift represents the eternity of spirit, myrrh. It's a gum resin used for incense. Now is the only moment we have. Heaven and hell, if you want to call them that, are states of mind, and we can help ourselves to which one we choose. But we're all in it together now, so it's wise that more people know about this truth, the better. So, it's a joy for those who are brought up in the traditional Christian church to know that we're on the right track. But it's even more liberating for us to know that it's the metaphysical approach to this. I'm preparing Jesus' teachings for a class in March. And my goodness, a couple of people take this stuff so literally, claiming this is a historical fact or it isn't. Who cares? All we want are the metaphysical truths embodied in this wonderful book. All the characters, from Adam to Christ, Buddha, Krishna. Now, I love old churches, as I've said that before, but I'm more interested in demonstrating the truth of the teachings now. What a tremendous gift awaits us. Not necessarily at Christmas. Enlightenment doesn't have to happen on the 25th of December. It can happen when you're ready, when your consciousness is ready. When we practice the full give of giving and receiving, we know that the best gift is to live according to the Christ principles. And the powerful realization we bring around us of the conscious realization of the birth of the Christ consciousness in us. And so it is. Thank you. Now,